This is Roger Franklin Williams, the Tebow defender. One of the fundamental laws of nature is that nature abhors a vacuum. Another fundamental law of nature is that mediocrity abhors excellence. We saw an excellent example of that this week with an attack on a man whose entire life and career has been characterized by strength, accomplishment, and excellence by an individual whose 25-plus year career as a quarterback and as a broadcaster was characterized by mediocrity. I'm talking, of course, about Norman Julius Boomlet Esiason. Boomlet, of course, is because his career never rose to the level for him to be accurately referred to by his preferred boomer. Let's take a look at what Boomlet Esiason had to say about Tim Tebow this week. He can't play. He can't throw. Let's stop right there. He can throw. He can throw. In fact, he threw well enough to get almost 10,000 yards career passing at Florida. He threw well enough to have the all-time best passer rating in the history of the South Eastern Conference and third best in NCAA history. Tim Tebow passed for more than in fact, he threw well enough that he threw for over twice as many touchdown passes in college as Boomlet Esiason did. Tim Tebow passed well enough to get over 3,000 yards more passing in college than Boomlet Esiason did. He can throw. But there was more. Quote from Boomlet Esiason. He's just not an NFL quarterback right now. Just because he's God-fearing and a great person off the field and was a winner with a team that had the best athletes in college football doesn't mean his game is going to translate to the NFL. Let's stop there again. It's already translated. It's already translated to the NFL. It translated the last 3 games of the last season when he finally got the chance to start. It translated when he led his team from behind from a halftime 17-0 deficit to a 24-23 win, and oh, by the way, threw for over 300 yards. It translated in another game where Tim Tebow did something that only 2 quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League have ever done. Have a game where he had a 40-yard plus rushing touchdown and a 30-yard plus passing touchdown. He translates. His game translates. But let's go back to Boomlet Esiason. What Josh McDaniels saw in him, God only knows. Maybe God does know because the rest of us don't. Unquote. Mercifully. The rest of us? The rest of us? Who do you mean the rest of us? You mean Kiper and that punk McShay and Colin Pencil-neck Cowherd? That rest of us? What are you, some kind of Mel Kiper wannabe, Esiason? No, the rest of us, the real rest of us, way out here in the heartland, we know what Tim Tebow can do. We know that Tim Tebow can beat you more ways than anybody in the game of football right now. Tim Tebow can beat you by driving the football down the field, by moving the chains, by controlling the football. He can beat you that way. And if he has to grind out a first down on 3rd and short or 4th and short, he'll do it. He can beat you by making big plays, by both passing and running, as he demonstrated last year. And he can beat you by scoring in the red zone, by scoring touchdowns. That's what Tim Tebow can do. His game translates. And, quote, the rest of us know that. But enough about Tim Tebow. Let's talk about Boomlet Esiason. Let's talk about his career. Let's look at what Boomlet Esiason did. 7-8 in '89 with the Bengals. 3-13 in '91 with the Bengals. 4-7 in '92 with the Bengals. All those as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. 5-9 in '94 with the Jets. 2-10 in '95 with the New York Jets. In fact, a career record of under 500 as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. And you want to tell Tim Tebow he can't play in the league? Give me a break. And I'm doing you a big favor, Esiason. We're not even going to talk about your college stats, but I will say that Tim Tebow had over twice as many touchdown passes as you had during his college career, and he also had about 3,000 more passing yards than you had during your college career. But anyway, One more thing, one more point about Boomlet Esiason, the analyst. Way to get out in front on the Tim Tebow hate bandwagon. How original can you get? What an original take. Tim Tebow has a different throwing motion. Tim Tebow has a different style of play. Where'd you come up with that, Esiason? Anyway, we didn't learn anything about Tim Tebow this week from Boomlet Esiason's stale, lame take, but we learned a lot. We learned everything about Norman Julius Boomlet Esiason. We learned that his work as an analyst is amazingly similar to his career as a quarterback. Overrated, uninspiring, and inaccurate. This is Roger Franklin Williams, the Tebow Defender.